You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you had a really nice weekend. 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. The weather was showing off yet again.
Yeah.
Let's check in with meteorologist Evan Arani this morning. What can we expect?
Good morning. Yeah, gorgeous weekend. I mean, really from Thanksgiving through Sunday. So we had a nice about 4 or 5 day stretch out there with sunshine each day. A little bit of cloud cover for Friday, at least more than what we saw for the other days. But Saturday and Sunday treated us very nicely. So take a look at today's forecast. We're carrying on with more of the same. Upper 60s at the coast, mid 70s as you make your way inland and across the mountains. Under at least partly cloudy, I'd say mostly sunny skies. Looking outside right now, it's a bit chilly, so the jacket's going to come in handy toward areas like Ramona at 36 degrees right now. But we'll be warmer by the afternoon. We'll be watching for a little bit of a cooling trend between now and Wednesday, and then a subsequent warming trend that'll take us back to the 70s and even 80s out there by Friday and Saturday. So details on that are in just a few. Back to you.
Evan, thank you very much. And now this morning we are hearing reaction after President Joe Biden pardoned his son Hunter, saving him from a possible prison sentence for federal felony gun and tax convictions.
President Biden previously said he wouldn't do this. CBS 8's Regina Gurita live in studio with more on why the president seems to have changed his mind here, Regina.
Yeah, and this has certainly drawn a lot of attention across the country, especially because, like you said, President Joe Biden had previously mentioned that he would not pardon his son, Hunter Biden, or commute his sentence. The move comes weeks before younger Biden was set to receive his punishment after his trial conviction in the gun case and guilty plea on tax charges. Right now, the president has actually taken off for a 3-day visit to Angola. While he has not directly answered questions about the recent controversial decision, he has released a statement. It has political analysts talking about the move.
I think what happened in this case is the pendulum sort of swung from one extreme to the other, and you ended up with an outcome that the president felt necessary to issue a pardon on.
Now, in a statement released Sunday night, Biden says in part, quote, "I believe in the justice system, but as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process and it led to a miscarriage of justice." Biden also argued that Hunter was, quote, "singled out only because he is my son," and says there has been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober. Hunter Biden was convicted of 3 felonies in June in connection with a gun purchase in Delaware. He also pleaded guilty to 9 counts of federal tax fraud in a separate case in California. While analysts say this isn't political, they add that as a father, it was probably difficult to proceed. Republicans, on the other hand, are blasting the pardon. President-elect Donald Trump took to social media to say, quote, "Does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the January 6 hostages who have now been in prison for years? Such an abuse and miscarriage of justice." Hunter Biden would have faced up to 42 years in prison for his convictions. He released his own statement saying he will never take the clemency he has been given for granted and will devote his life he's rebuilt to helping those who are sick and suffering. Guys?
Regina, thank you. Today, Governor Gavin Newsom and state lawmakers will prepare for the next Trump administration with a special session. Newsom is asking for the state to set aside funds for potential legal fights ahead of Trump's second term. During Trump's first term, California sued the federal government more than 120 times over environmental, health, immigration, and other issues. Newly elected state assemblyman Carl DeMaio from San Diego says Newsom is being hypocritical, saying, quote, "This is the same guy who has a terrible record of abusing power and imposing laws and regulations that federal courts have repeatedly ruled to be unlawful and unconstitutional," end quote. DeMaio says he will introduce a measure today that would penalize the governor and other state leaders if they violate California's constitutional rights.
And now a dog groomer accused of sexually assaulting a 75-year-old woman in Forest Ranch will be in court today. Sheriff's deputies say Tony Choi assaulted the woman inside her home after offering to wash her dog in October. He was arrested that same night. Choi was released on bail but was later re-arrested on November 8th on more charges. He's now being held on $1 million bail. Today's hearing will reconsider that amount.
Well, today is Cyber Monday. Millions of people will be looking for those deals online.
Logging in early this morning, perhaps. This morning, the FBI warning that criminals are also on the hunt to scam people. CBS 8's Chris Guo working for your wallet this morning, live in Kearney Mesa, with what we could all look out for and how can we save some money today, Chris?
Well, a lot of money is going to be spent today, and all of it, many of it, I should say, will be done so online. It's Cyber Monday. It has come and maybe even taken over Black Friday as sort of that unique holiday shopping experience where you're going to be saving. Now, according to experts, electronics and apparel, that is going to be the two sectors where you're going to be seeing the most sale discounts, if you will. But at the same time, that brings up the danger of the internet and what could potentially happen, because as we all know, scammers and hackers are going to look at people trying to save money, especially during the holiday season, people that may be desperate to save money, and they're going to take advantage of them. So we do have some tips here for you to make sure that your Cyber Monday experience is safe. First of all, do not share personal information. If a website asks you to update your account info, check to make sure that you're on the right website. Another troubling trend to look out for is imposters posing as delivery companies. They'll send you a text message claiming, hey, we're the USPS. Please click on this link to track your package. If it looks suspicious, it probably is. Also, hackers can create fake URLs to make the shopping experience look and feel as if you are on the website. So even if you think you're on the Macy's website because you clicked on an ad, make sure that it is. Go back up to that search bar and click to make sure that you're on the website. As always, if it sounds too good to be true, that deal, it probably is.
Other than that, use Apple Pay or Samsung Pay or Google Pay, some form of digital wallet, because it creates a barrier between you, your account, and that attacker.
Yeah, so that was a cybersecurity expert explaining that using Apple Pay may actually be a form of defense there for you. Now, the other thing that you should do is contact your bank or credit card if you believe that you have fallen victim to any type of hack and or scam. Eric and Netta?
Chris, thank you very much for that advice. And now this morning, people around the country heading back to work or school after Thanksgiving, a few days off. I know it's always hard.
Right.
Yesterday was a major travel day.
Yeah, severe weather across the country also disrupted lots of flights. The FAA said the U.S. saw a record number of flights leading up to Thanksgiving. TSA expected to screen more than 3 million people just yesterday. We talked to travelers headed home after celebrating the holiday in San Diego.
This time the whole family's here for Thanksgiving. Yeah. We all, really were conscious about coming out here and enjoying him and enjoying this weather, and we really had a great time.
The weather was nice, especially when you see the video of what the weather looked like in other parts of the country. Parts of New York under a state of emergency, and a disaster declaration has been issued in Pennsylvania, all because of the heavy snow. When it comes to road travel, today from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. is expected to be busy, so it's best to travel early this morning or later this evening if you want to beat the traffic. Maybe you're extending the holiday into the Monday here.
While everyone else is like snow jackets, we're sunglasses,
That's right.
swimsuits.
I mean, for now it's cold. We're in like the 40s, some 50s out there. But by the time we get to the afternoon, 70s almost across the board. We are looking toward the possibility of some low 80s by the end of the week too. So toward about Friday, Saturday timeframe, we could be seeing those 80s come about inland. Out the door right now, 36 in Ramona. That's one of the few spots in the 30s. But besides that, you got 40s and 50s. 47 for Oceanside right now, 54 in Fallbrook, 50 in Carlsbad, and 48 in downtown San Diego. Taking a look at satellite radar imagery, want to give a mention to the dry skies that we have across the West Coast, because we had talked about these repeated troughs of low pressure affecting areas of Oregon, Washington, all the way through about Northern California. Not the case right now. They're at least getting a much needed break from all of the immense wet weather that they saw. We, on the other hand, are below normal on our rain totals. We have not seen the type of rain we'd like to see for the month of October, November, and now to start off December. So we will keep tabs on it, but we'll watch for a dry week ahead until about Monday of next week. It looks like that could be our next best opportunity for us to see some light rain possible. We got a beach hazard statement along the water until noon tomorrow. That's because of the possibility of minor tidal overflow. Basically, high tide, 8, 9, 10 a.m. time frame. We could be seeing those low-lying beaches see a little bit more of additional flooding. Some of those low-lying parking lots, boardwalks that are prone to it when we have this astronomical high tide could be seeing that between about 8 and 10 through tomorrow. Looking at your almanac, we are expecting your afternoon high to come in along the coast a few degrees warmer than average, but very closely in line with it. Overnight lows are pretty close too, so not too much of a deviation from where we typically would be as far as your temperatures go, but we're below normal on where we'd like our rain totals to be. Sunrise, 6:34, so about 25 minutes from now. Let's take a look at traffic, see how your roads are. So far, it's been very quiet out there. We haven't had really any major crashes or collisions. Only spot I can take you to with just a little bit of traffic is, unsurprising, it is the Coronado Bridge. So getting into Coronado, whether you are taking Silver Strand or the bridge, could run into some slight delays. Besides that, though, it does seem like, that Monday after a holiday where things are quiet. Looks like a crash actually just popped up off one of the freeways, one of the surface streets that we'll check in on in a bit. Let's take a look at your border wait times right now, where it's a 120-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry, so going to take you about 2 hours to get across at San Ysidro. Otay Mesa Port of Entry should only take you about an hour in total. Back to you, Ned and Eric.